this is gonna be a very, very fun video. But before we get started with the main topic, just an amusing update on the woman in the last video who claimed someone spat on her in San Francisco, and then the entire media ecosphere decided to laugh at her for completely lacking in self-awareness being a white woman in San Francisco. Turns out I was right on the money. She's not only a lefty, but she's an uber lefty. God bless the internet and you magnificent sleuthing bastards who dug up her old social media posts. God help me, I will never understand the idiots who try and use the past to beat up someone in the present. When that standard applies to them, never does it turn out well. She is a BLM supporting, pronouns in the bio, black and brown bodies, rainbow community. Hell, she even said Asians aren't a race. They're a disgrace. Bloody hell, walking billboard of the virtue signaling variety. And when someone inquired about the potential melanin rating, let's say, the attacker, she had this to say.
No, it was a very well-groomed and well-dressed white man. Also, this is incredibly racist, and you will be blocked now. Goodbye.
Right, so before she was this...
I'm literally shaking right now. I was just getting groceries, and I live in San Francisco, and I never really feel fully safe. If you live in San Francisco, I'm sure you know what I'm talking about. And I just got groceries. I'm walking out of the store, and this guy is walking past me and says, "Move, you stupid bitch," and he spits in my face, spits all over my face.
Oh, but now she's this dolled up ditzy bint. Sure, kid. Bleached up Jessie Smollett we have over here. Oh, and all her social media has now been purged. Geez, I wonder why. You're telling me a well-dressed, well-groomed white guy threatened to snuggle you and spat in your face? Like, who the hell do you think is gonna buy that? Get freaking real. Considering your political proclivities, you didn't mention the race and called the police immediately. Why? It's either because you're lying about the race or lying about the entire story overall because your virtue signaling ass didn't want to appear racist. Oh, speaking of racism, on to our main hilarious story over here. Now, I've said in a previous video several months ago that racism isn't even real. Doesn't even make any sense, even before the word became this hollowed out shell void of any punching power. In fact, I would like to incorporate a new phrase, a new acronym into our lexicon, RCD, or Region Code Discrimination. Because no sane or rational person ever discriminates simply on the basis of race. You do so based on behavior. You might have before in previous centuries when it made sense to, because you're encountering a potentially dangerous pathogen that might be a threat to you and your people. Like there it serves this evolutionary useful defense mechanism. But in the present day, yeah, not so much. And I use region code because for the vast majority of human history, people fought those who look like them. We go by ethnicity, by nation, or tribal identity. The distinction of black and white is an American-made social phenomenon, one I wish the Western world would bloody well realize. This woman, however, took my region code-based system, went full-blown stupid, and decided to apply it to an entire bloody continent. Check this out. Texas teacher loses job after complaining sister was dating white man. I enjoy being a racist. Now, I know what you're thinking. I thought the same thing. A black woman? The most protected class in America next to the gendered ilk, and she got fired for being racist? Holy hell, what did she do? Did she threaten to kill somebody? Yeah, about that. Yeah, actually she did. When her sister's boyfriend was in her house, she texted to her guy to come and take care of him, mafia style. She even said she would help clean up the scene, so to speak. How do we know this? Because she posted those messages on Twitter. I'll link a post and a pinned comment down below to that video. I can't use it on my one for obvious reasons. This is her. Watch this.
So, y'all already know why I'm having a bad day. My sister is a cave dweller smasher. In my house. On this land. I just want to let y'all know that I'm about to do everything in my power to fuck this relationship up. And it's gonna be so fun and so satisfying to watch.
What wickedness, how charming. You know, as hateful as this one is, I can't help but laugh at them for being this openly aggressive towards whites, when damn near everything they have was invented by Europeans, down to the damn language they're speaking. Like, that level of hostility accompanies such a severe lack of awareness when it comes to reality and history. When they talk of black supremacy, it just falls flat. You're in a car, on a phone, on the internet, speaking English. You don't notice any of that? Personally, I think she's massively envious of her sister, because I'll say this. From personal experience, the most openly racist group that I've come across against those of European descent are mixed black American women, to the point where it's comically absurd. In fact, I did a video about it because it was hilarious. But here's where the story gets funny. This one, despite having black supremacist in her Twitter bio, she got hired by the school. She claims the school knew of her posts and her views then presumably as well, but were told to just delete them and be careful because she didn't mean all white people. You think the rest of us can get away with something like that? Yeah, right. Look at this post. Name a big historic moment where white people did anything for black people out of the kindness of their hearts. Again, it's that Americanized black and white dichotomy. I don't know, ending the slave trade? Not culling your genitals like the Arab slave traders did? The Civil War to end slavery in the United States? Giving you equal rights which clearly you don't deserve? By the way, this is something that I've noticed. The level of entitlement is unreal. What possesses you to think everyone else must cater to you when you openly behave in this manner, like it's normal? Something is not wired right. And that entitlement went one step too far, because I swear her opening her gob one too many times is what cost her her job. Check this post out. First day of school, walking through the halls while Twitter thinks they can take my job from me. Call me every name under the sun, but y'all will never be able to call me unemployed. I get the impression she has lived in an echo chamber for a very, very long time, and her massive ego made Twitter accept that as a challenge. Don't write checks your mouth can't cash. Lessons of the Internet 101. And do you think she will learn anything from this? Absolutely not. In fact, this will reinforce and bolster her beliefs, and I will bet my bollocks she will become worse. Utterly incapable of self-reflection she is. So let's have an honest conversation about reality here, shall we? And usually when I say something like that, I know the audience is thinking, oh, Spoon's gonna say some real shit. Maybe, let's see where it goes. The protection these types are afforded. There's two reasons for that protection. You're either cognitively stunted to the point of debilitation and your behavior needs that excuse lest you get mauled, or you might attack and others need to come to your defense because you would get mauled if you weren't protected. And judging by the videos that go viral, there's quite a bit of overlap, all wrapped up neatly to say, you are not capable of the standards of the rest of society. Why do you think they went nuts to see affirmative action go bye-bye? I said something similar to this in my video about South Africa that I put up on Rumble as well, because something needs to be said about the morality of these types of people. You can live in this fluffy world of everyone holding hands and singing Kumbaya when your ears are silenced by your own rectal walls. In the real world, however, yeah, not so much. Nobody wants to say this, but you can't give everyone universal freedom. It doesn't work. We are not the same. We come from different landscapes and cultures that shape our morality and worldview, and some are far more susceptible to indoctrination. There are people like this who exist, and if you give them the freedom to behave unchallenged, you are just going to highlight the very clear difference of behavior and social acceptability and standards, or rather lack thereof, between the groups. And when they inevitably call for safe spaces, which is the modern-day political speak for segregation, because that's what it is, let's not beat around the bush here, the idea will look more appealing over time. If you want a unified social order, everyone must abide by the same rules of that order. Very basic stuff. But if they segregate voluntarily to get away from white people, they're not going to have that same drive as they did during the previous century to get into the mainstream of society. In this scenario, they will just deteriorate and worsen. Now you can make the case, as I'm sure somebody would try, that this behavior is just built up years of oppression, etc., etc. All the cliched talking point bullshit that you get if you ate Ibram X. Kendi's books, let alone read them. And while there's a case to be made with a bit more enforcement and or pressure, shame maybe, she'd be less hostile. But when people are afforded the freedom and this is the kind of stuff they voluntarily put out in the world because they think they're bulletproof, you might want to take a moment to realize, no, she's just objectively vile. No more, no less. Cheers for watching, and once again, I apologize for nothing.